Bishop, good to see you. In anticipation of the October Synod on family that is going to happen over at the Vatican, we sent out a survey. The diocese did a survey on family life and the situation of family here in the diocese. What are some of the questions that we asked people to respond to?
Yeah, actually there was a two-part. We compiled everything we had from over 600 responses and developed a diocesan response that was sent to the Bishops' Conference, and then they compiled one thing to be sent over to the Synod office. It really was an interesting exercise because I think we learned things we probably didn't know. We did have responses from almost all parishes, a few people. Again, it was online and we advertised it. I think the one overall thing is that people see their parishes different from the diocese. I mean, for example, the one question is your parish accepting of divorced people? And they said, well, the church is not, but my parish is. And it'll go the same thing with people with homosexual orientation. Well, the church is not, but my parish is. So again, people, I think when they're close by, they see what they do, they recognize that they're accepting. In general, for whatever reason, they see the church as maybe announcing our moral doctrine, saying we're not accepting. So that's one contradiction that's interesting to note. I think, again, what I'm a little surprised is that people do understand the church's prohibition against contraceptive, and why even. But again, here the responders, probably it was about 40% of the priests, the responders were priests, 6% lay people. So I would say, in general, it was a little higher than the 40%. So I would say even the lay people do understand the church's position, which the Synod document now, if we got back this lineamenta, which is the response to all of what they received, I think it was very well done. I'm doing a 3-part series in the tablet, an article taking the three parts and kind of summarizing it and bringing some of the data we found into it, our own attitudes. But I was pleasantly surprised that there was nothing left, no stone left unturned. I mean, all the issues were hit head on, recognizing that people don't accept or don't understand. There was no hesitation on any area of family life to really deal with it, from contraception to abortion to homosexual same-sex relationships. All of these things are in the hopper, as it would say.
You know, when people see a survey and headlines come out and it says 50% of the people don't agree with the church, you know, is this going to be used as input to change church teaching, or is it going to be?
Well, no. Again, church teaching does not rely on polls, but it does rely on the sense of the faithful. Recently, the Doctrinal Office of the Holy See put out a document just less than a month ago about what the sense of the faithful means. Again, very well, I think very clear that we need to listen to how people live the faith. And that does influence, and we do change. There is a development of doctrine. Development of doctrine doesn't mean we cancel out what happened in the past, but we develop it. There are changes sometimes in how we understand things, and not in the essence, but certainly in the presentation and how we understand things. So I think that's very important. I think that's reflected in the Synod preliminary document, which is now being sent to all the Synod fathers for their consideration. That'll be the document they take in to the Synod. So there will be actually another opportunity now to amend that document so that when they go in, they'll have the draft that they're going to work on.
One of the things that got a lot of attention in the beginning was whether or not divorced Catholics are going to be able to receive communion. Was that a distraction, really, as to what the Synod is really all about?
No, it's there. It's a major topic to be discussed. And again, you can't just lump it together. There are serious issues involved. Understanding the Scripture, which is clearly understanding of the indissolubility of marriage. At the same time, the pastoral approach to people who find themselves in these bad marriages and these difficult situations, how do we deal with pastorally their plight in many cases. Some of it is, again, maybe the external form where we have the declaration of a nullity of the marriage, which is somewhat complicated. There's some indication of trying to streamline that process. But overall, the very fact is we don't want people living in serial marriages. That's what happened in our society today. People try one, well, they'll do another one. There's something deeper than that. It's and there are many times where there are innocent parties that are that have been abandoned. So how do we deal with that? So it's all there. It's all on the table. I think I'm really anxious to see what the Synod Fathers will come back with. I think there's going to be some, say, solutions to these problems, but an approach that may be different than what we've done in the past. So that let's hope that we see this in a better light.
And that comes in October, and we'll be watching that closely.
That's right.
Bishop, thanks so much for being with us.
You're welcome.